Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Nick Energy YouTube channel. Mill here with another post-game show. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, honestly, because the Knicks were just on a West Coast road trip and the timing was bad. The Knicks were ending their games at like 1 a.m. and I just knew if I did the post-game then, I mean, I couldn't even do the post-game that late, but if I did, I'm not even sure how many people would have showed up at that moment. But we're back. Knicks are finally back home. Not technically tonight. They were at Barclays facing the Nets tonight, but they're still in New York, so they're back home on the East Coast after that. Um, not necessarily brutal uh, West Coast trip, but they did go 2-2. They went even. Could have went 3-1, but it's all right. We're moving forward to tonight's game. The Knicks won over the Nets 121 to 102. This was a great game, honestly. Everyone contributed from the Knicks. We can talk about the people I'm showing right next to me, Donte DiVincenzo, Julius Randle. They all did their job. And we can start off with Julius Randle. He's been playing phenomenal basketball recently. Before going into this game, I saw a stat earlier that he has been averaging 28 per game for the last 8 games. So he's playing phenomenal basketball. He's just doing everything right. And no one on the Nets could stop him tonight. Literally no one. Everyone was trying their best to guard him. No one could do it. He was playing bully ball. He was bullying his way to the basket. He wasn't settling for those shots. He was making his way to the basket and doing what he does best. Um, Great game by him. He had 26 points overall. You can see it right next to me, along with 4 assists and 7 rebounds. And I also want to highlight Donte DiVincenzo. This was another breakout game for him. He's had a few breakout games in the past, but another great game by him. 23 points, 3 steals, and 8 rebounds. Not just the offensive effort there, but also the defensive effort there is there as well. 3 steals. He was active out there on defense, active hands, and if you watch the game, you can just see it how well he was on both ends of the court. This is, they were saying it throughout the broadcast, and a lot of people were mentioning it on social media. He just looks like he suits and fits really well with the starting unit now. There was a little hesitation at first when he took over the starter spot. Didn't really have any great games when he took over that role, but this is probably the best game yet he's had since becoming a starter. And if he can continue to play like this every night, then I think he's definitely staying in the starting unit. And he gels so good with the other starters. Brunson, that chemistry is already there. Randle, and I know our starting unit is it's a little shaky right now, just because by now Mitchell Robinson is injured. He's not going to be back until at least February. So our starting center spot is a little bit shaky because even when Robinson went out, it was supposed to be Sims. Sims was starting a few games, and then Sims got hurt. Oh my gosh, our center position is so rough right now because Sims is out, Mitchell Robinson is out. Even Isaiah Hartenstein went out today in this game. If you guys were watching in that first quarter, he got cut, I believe. So he went back to the locker room for a little bit. And at that moment, our only center was Taj Gibson. In that exact moment, he was out there. We're putting poor Taj Gibson. He's like 38 years old. We're putting so much pressure on him. I know to be our center basically. And right now, he is our backup center. I didn't even think that it would come to this when we signed him. I wasn't even sure that he was going to get minutes. I thought he was just going to be, in case someone else gets hurt, in case one of our bigs goes down. And it just so happened that Sims went down. And now he's our backup center. It's crazy. Jonathan said, "What did I tell you?" He also said, "I told y'all the Burger King Nets got nada." Yeah, they got nothing. We got to be honest. The Knicks run New York. I don't know who keeps saying that this is a rivalry. It's not a rivalry. Hardenstein said it himself. If anyone saw the quote, every time the Knicks go into Barclays Center to play the Nets, it's mostly Knicks fans, and that they beat them. They've been, the Knicks have been beating the Nets recently throughout the past few years, so it's not a rivalry. It didn't look like a rivalry at all tonight. We dominated them. We won by almost 20 points, 19 to be exact, but this isn't a rivalry. We dominate the Nets and we run New York. Boy, it feels great being a Knicks fan. I know, I agree. This was just beautiful basketball we saw tonight. Nothing could have been better. I mean, at times the 3-point defense was questionable too. We were letting them get back into it with those 3-pointers. They even cut the lead down to 7. I believe. So obviously, that could have been improved, but it just looked great, like great basketball. Besides that 3-point defense, the Knicks were still really great on the defensive end. They were like everyone was out there grabbing steals, grabbing boards. Donte DiVincenzo himself had 3 steals. Let's see who else had some steals tonight. Gonna look through. Brunson had a steal. Barrett had a steal. Josh Hart had a steal. And Grimes and Quickley had a steal. If you tally that up, let's see how much that comes to in total. I'm going to look at team stats over here. Yeah, in total, the Knicks had 8 steals, and they also had 7 blocks. Crazy. I think Hartenstein had 3 of those. Hartenstein is an absolute beast out there, for real. Like, he is taking over. I know it's a difficult role to fill after Mitch got hurt, and he's going to be out for a while. It's difficult for Hartenstein to step up and fill those shoes, but he is doing the best that he possibly could. Getting the blocks, getting the boards. His last game was really great against the Lakers. One of the big reasons we won that game. And he played great again tonight. He's a great backup center. And now that he's going to be starting for us, I'm excited to watch him play. Last year, he was huge for us. Definitely underrated signing from last year. And he was big for us. A reason why we had the record we did and why we got to the playoffs. So I definitely think Hartenstein is a great backup behind Mitchell Robinson. I wouldn't want to have, anyone else behind that spot right there. Jonathan said the streak is over. TMG, F the Nets though. Yeah, I agree. I mean, do the Nets even have fans? Did you guys see that arena? It looked completely empty and it was so quiet. Not completely empty. I knew there were some fans there, but it was so quiet. I know they were getting blown out, but I just didn't hear any chatter from them or nothing. Think they lead us 117, 114 all time. We'll catch up. Yeah. Brandon's in here now. He said, let's go. What's up, Brandon? Big win. I agree. Now we're on a little win streak right here. We're on a 2-game win streak. Gonna try to extend that. I think the next time we play is, I heard them mention it as Saturday. I'm gonna look it up really quick. Against the Bucks. So yeah, the next game we play is Saturday against the Bucks, which is the 23rd, and it's a 12:30 p.m. game. It's pretty early. Hopefully we can extend our win streak to 3 and beat the Bucks, because I don't think we've been able to beat the Bucks so far this season. Would love to be a contender in the East like them. How's it going? Honestly, I'm feeling a little under the weather. That's why I'm actually going to keep this post game a little bit short. I'm not going to go up to an hour sometimes that I usually do. I have the most nagging cough ever. So I'm trying not to cough as much as I'm trying not to cough at all during this post game. But if you hear a few coughs, I'm sorry. Knicks run New York. Exactly, Brandon. Exactly. You said it right. You said it right there. I was mentioning it earlier too. Let's see what else we have here. Nets are food. That's hilarious. I don't know why. Like, I think playing against the Nets, they're the most, like, I feel the most confident playing against them. I don't know why. Just like every time we play them, I know it's an automatic win. Recently, of course, not like during the time when they had KD and Kyrie. I would say as soon as they left, the Nets were food after that. Nets were complete food. We take the win every time, and It's not a rivalry. It's not like a Mets and Yankees battle of the boroughs rivalry right there. Almighty said, "We run New York. Stop playing with us." Exactly. We all know what's up. Jonathan said, "Robinson will be fine soon." Yeah, prayers up for him going through his recovery. I hope he recovers quick because we need him back on the floor. I love Hartenstein and the way he's been playing has been great, but we need Mitch back, especially if we want to make a certain playoff push when he comes back in February. If we're trying to get a certain seed, hopefully top 4. Hardenstein's a legend. He really is. He really is a legend. Like before the game, he said the Nets and the Knicks aren't a rivalry, and it's just Knicks fans that show up there. And he went out here and he did his thing, and he really showed that the Nets are just I want to call them a joke, but they are a joke, and I don't really think Nets fans exist because that whole stadium it kind of looked like it was mostly filled with Knicks fans out there. Jonathan said about to go for the Bucks. We're gonna get revenge. Yeah, we need revenge because the games we played against the Bucks, man, we should have won at least one of those. The first one we played against them was super close. We were really close to winning that game, I remember. And then Dame time happened. He hit that clutch 3, won the game for them. TMG said, "Hope you get better." I appreciate that. I really do. I'm hoping I get better too, especially for the next Knicks game. I want to have a better post game. And actually, if I get better by then, I might even try to go to that game. Brendan said, "We literally blow them out every game since the Cupcake and Kyle left." Exactly. Ever since those two left, it's been so different. We dominate them every time. Like I feel so confident going into these games because I know the Knicks are going to win. TMG said, "Todd's doing okay. Hope to see improvement." Man, Taj, like I honestly feel bad for him just because the pressure he's probably been under. And I saw on Twitter or X, someone posted a picture of him saying how tired he was, and he signaled to go on the bench because he was so tired. He's 38 years old. We need to remember that. Like he is literally 38 years old, and he hadn't played NBA basketball for 2 months before the Knicks signed him. But he said he was staying in shape. He's he's doing all right, and I don't want to go hard on him. I know he's still getting into foul trouble because that's all stuff you have to get in. You have to get used to again. Being 2 months out of it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard watching him play now. It wasn't too pretty out there, the fouling, and it just he's gonna improve over time though. If he and especially because he's gonna be getting more minutes. Sims is gonna be out for I think 1 to 2 weeks the least. So Taj is our backup from now. We got to roll with him, and he's gonna improve. I think. He's been big for us before, especially if you guys remember that 2021 season where we were the 4th seed and we went to the playoffs, lost in the first round to the Hawks. He was huge for us that season, big pillar, and he's a veteran now. I think he's about to retire, but he's still got a little left in the tank, I think. Jonathan said 23 and Christmas Day. Yeah, we're facing the Bucks twice. So on the 23rd, this Saturday, and then on Christmas Day, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, oof, we haven't beat the Bucks. I don't believe we have yet this season. We need to finally win one of those games. I'm hoping both, and especially Christmas Day. No one wants their Christmas Day ruined, especially us Knicks fans. Come on, let's get a Christmas Day win. TMG said should find a free agent center. Taj might quit soon. Never know. Yeah, exactly. I was actually thinking about that earlier in the game when I was watching Taj play, and he just looked extremely exhausted and out of rhythm. There might be some other prospects we should consider, especially just because we should have a third center on that squad right there in case Todd, like you said, quits or just can't deal with it anymore. Like let's try to remember he's 38 and we can't give him like too many minutes a game. He's not going to be able to deal with that. Definitely some other people. There's definitely other centers the Knicks could be looking into, and I think they should. Because when Hardenstein went out in that first half, he went back to the locker room and it was just Taj out there. And then Taj needed a breather, so they put him on the bench. We had Julius Randle playing the center, and that was not good because I mean, that's small ball right there, and Julius Randle's like 6'9", I think, maybe 6'10". He could possibly play against smaller centers, but we weren't playing against small centers tonight. You know, between Nick can't say his name, Nick Claxton. But when Randle was playing that center position, they were getting all the points they wanted in the paint. So we need to have a backup. It sounds crazy, but we might need to. Very low key game from Jalen Brunson tonight. Not the best game from him. He was 6 for 15 and 32 minutes, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. So only 16 points for him, and just a quiet game. Not shooting the best from the field, but also he didn't really get to the free throw line a lot. We know Brunson is always getting there. He's always drawing contact. Only shot 4 free throws, so. But just look at that. Like, Brunson had such a quiet game with only 16 points, and we still won this game. We beat the Nets by almost 20. Like, it's crazy that everyone else stepped up. Even though Brunson had a bad game, everyone else stepped up so that we can get this win. And talking about guys who stepped up, let's not forget Immanuel Quickley. I was going to actually highlight him next to me, but I just decided to put Randle and DiVincenzo up there instead. But Immanuel Quickley, he put on a show tonight. In 24 minutes, he had 19 points, was 7 for 12 from the field, 4 3-pointers. Surprisingly, only went 1 for 4 from the free throw line. He's usually our best free throw shooter. But besides that, you know, he played great, really great from the minutes he was given. I always think he deserves more minutes. You know, he got 24 tonight, but we've seen other games where he's gotten less. You know, there's some nights I think he definitely should be closing out the game and just be getting more minutes. He's our sixth man. He's the guy off the bench that's going to give you that spark. Great offensively skilled player. He can draw contact. We know it. But great game by Quick. Needs more minutes. Let's look at Grimes. In 18 minutes, he only had 5 points, was 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. So, not a great game by Grimes there. Obviously struggled from the 3-point line and the field. But again, this was a win. We won by almost 20, so it didn't really matter, especially because the bench didn't really struggle with Quickley stepping up. And Hart also, I have to mention Hart. He only had 10 points, but in his 31 minutes, he impacted the game so much, and he actually had 13 rebounds. That's crazy. He had a double-double, 10 points, 13 rebounds. For a guard to be grabbing 13 rebounds, that's wildly impressive. We know that about Josh Hart, though. We've seen him since, you know, the second half of last season. He's always been grabbing boards, but that's his specialty right there. So 13 rebounds for him, 3 assists, and 10 points for him. He was making a real difference on the defensive end. Active hands, grabbing the boards. I mean, there's nothing more you can ask for from him. Let's see. Nature and Sports said Mikal Bridges tried tanking his trade value in one game. Oh my God. Poor Bridges, man. He was going through such a huge shooting slump. I mean, let's see. What did he end up with? He ended up going 4 for 21. That's crazy. Oof. And that's wild because I really like him as a player, and I've personally wanted him on the Knicks just because I think it'd be fun to have the Nova connection, and um he's just a great player too. He's super tall, can be a defensive threat, offensive threat. Obviously not tonight though. 4 for 21 is awful. 1 for 8 from 3 too. Man, what happened? What happened to him tonight? The Knicks scared him. Nah, he got put on clamps because 4 for 21 and 1 for 8 from the three-point line is wild. Cam Johnson, though, let's see. He had 20 points. Solid game from him. Oh, I forgot to talk about RJ. Let's talk about RJ real quick. RJ had a solid game. Only 14 points. So, not a lot there, but it was a solid game. 5 for 11 from the field. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. I love it when he makes all his free throws. I will support and just be so happy when our players make their free throws. So kudos to you, RJ, for really making your free throws this season. I don't know what his percentage is this season, but he's really improved it. Every game I notice it. He's almost 100% from that line. He's been great on that end. Um, Solid game from him. We got the win. There were a few plays that he did get blocked on or just coughed up the ball, but nothing to complain about there. We got the win. There's no need to. Nature and Sports said RJ with a block in 4 straight games, showing big time effort on that side this season. Yeah, I agree. He might have quiet offensive games with only like 14 points or under 20 points, but on the defensive end, he's really showing up. And I think that's one thing that's so underrated about him this season so far. We don't really notice it, but he's been putting a lot of players on clamps. He's been defending them really well, holding them, limiting them. I remember seeing like the first 10 games or the first 15 games, he was just holding really good players. He was holding them down to awful percentages from the field, from the three-point line. He was doing his thing on the defensive end, and the fact that he continues to do it, I'm really proud of him because defense wins games. We all know that our defense is really questionable sometimes. Like in our losses, you can really see it that our defense struggles, especially when we don't have Mitchell Robinson. But when he steps up, when everyone, not just RJ, when everyone steps up and plays defense, it matters. That's how we win games. They said it tonight on the broadcast. Defense, it leads to easy possession, easy possessions. For example, every time they got a steal, they did an outlet pass and they got the layup. I saw it so many times tonight. That's one thing I wanted to point out too. Their outlet passes were going crazy. Like I feel like I've never really seen that from the Knicks, but every time they got the rebound or the steal, their first reaction was that outlet pass all the way down the court. And I loved it. I love seeing those type of passes. They're really pushing the ball on those fast break opportunities, and they're getting that. They're being successful at it. Tonight, let's see how many fast break points they had. Let's see. So tonight they had 21 fast break points. That's pretty impressive. And they were doing it all game. They were pushing it up the court, driving in, attack, getting to the basket every time they stole the ball or every time they got the rebound really quick. Points in the paint too, 52 compared to the Nets 40. That was most of that is Julius Randle. He was getting in the paint so well, just doing his thing, bully ball. He was manhandling everyone on the Nets. He wasn't afraid of them. They were afraid of him because they couldn't guard him, and he was just taking each net to the basket, and he was successful at it. Jonathan said the Nets are probably scared for another beaten next month. Yeah. I'm not sure of the exact date we play them, but every time we play them, I know it's going to be an automatic win. Like, look, just think about it. The Jalen Brunson didn't have a good game, and we still beat them. We still beat them by almost 20. And RJ Barrett didn't even have like the best game ever. He had 14 points. So look at that. That's because other guys really stepped up tonight. Shout out DiVincenzo. Shout out Immanuel Quickley. Shout out Josh Hart. Shout out Isaiah Hardenstein for holding it down. You know, he only had 2 points, but he's doing his thing on the defensive end. He got, let's see, where's the blocks? 2 blocks. Okay, I thought it was 3 blocks. But yeah, 2 blocks for him, 10 rebounds. He's doing his thing. 3 assists too. So he's actually a really underrated passer. Sharia, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Sharia Man Gaming said, "Hey, what's going on? Go Knicks." He also said, "Randle is shutting up those naysayers and haters. I'm loving it." Yeah, he really is. I mentioned it. The first thing I said when the post game started was that Julius Randle is playing phenomenal basketball. He's been great recently. I think like the last 10 game stretch, maybe the last 15. I mean, I know we've had some losses in there, but overall, he's playing great, especially in the wins that we have. Man, 26 points from him tonight. He's doing everything right, and we're seeing the defensive effort too, which I love to see. Besides Julius Randle, I was looking more at some team stats over here. The Knicks shot 46% from the field. Okay, the Nets shot 36. Yeah, they struggled from the field, and mainly it was because of Bridges. 4 for 21 from the field for him. That definitely plummeted their overall field goal percentage. But they are a good 3-point shooting team. MSG mentioned it that before this game they were second in the league in 3-point shooting, and you can tell they were hitting those threes. That's what kept them in this game, honestly, especially in the first half. They were hitting those threes. Overall, they were 15. They hit 15 threes, and that was 31%. We hit 13, 39% for us. So let's see. Free throw, we shot 80% from the free throw line. Would love to get that up to 100. I know that's a stretch, but we're working towards it, because free throws should be free points. They're easy points. We need to work on getting it up to at least 90. Slowly, we'll get there. We need to be a good free throw shooting team like by playoff time. When the playoffs come around, we need to be at least 90%. Rebounds, we got 54. Yeah, let's see. Steals, I already went over that. Blocks, total turnovers. We actually had the same amount of turnovers. It was actually both teams had 11. But the Knicks capitalized more points off of their turnovers, off of the Nets' turnovers. And yeah, Knicks had less fouls, so they were playing defense. It was great to see them actually play defense this game. There's been some games where the Knicks don't play any defense, whether it's 3-point shooting, protecting the paint. Some games it's nothing, but tonight was a different story. Everyone was playing defense, and when they all work together and they all step it up defensively, it made the offense flow so much better, and it made it easy for them to score on the offensive end. I knew this was going to happen when Sims comes back. Give him the ball. It's really unfortunate Sims got hurt because I wanted to see a little bit more from him during this stretch that Robinson is going to be out, but it is what it is. He'll only be out, I think, for like 2 weeks or 1 to 2 weeks, they said. So when he comes back, hopefully we could see some minutes from him, because I don't think we should be giving Taj Gibson. Let's see how many minutes he had tonight. Taj had 13 minutes tonight. All right, as long as he never hits 20, because that's just too much for him. We need, like, shout out to Taj. He did his thing tonight, but he definitely needs to get back in rhythm. He wasn't playing NBA basketball for 2 months before the Knicks signed him, so he needs to get back in rhythm. Jonathan said January 23rd at Barclays Center. Okay, that's the next time we play the Nets. Another win, Jonathan. Another win. And I know I can predict it from now. We're probably going to win that game too. I think we got extremely lucky tonight, or not lucky, but we played great defense on Bridges. The fact that he went 4 for 21 is probably the main reason we won this game. Our defense. Someone said, I want the Nets at full strength, so there's no excuse. Yeah, you want Ben Simmons to play? Because I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm not even sure what's going on with his situation, honestly. I think it's something with the back that happened again. So he's out right now. He didn't play tonight. But this was a good win. Like, we don't need to discredit our Knicks. They did what they did, and they won by 19 points with Jalen Brunson having a bad game, RJ Barrett having a quiet game. Everyone else stepped up. Someone said, important win with others below us winning. Not looking forward to Bucks back to back, though. Happy holidays. Yeah, happy holidays to everyone. It is the holiday season. And I'm also not looking forward to the back to back Bucks games, especially just because it's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup. We haven't beat the Bucks yet this season. I don't think so. It's going to be good games, though. They're going to be competitive, good games, and we have to finally beat them. At least one out of the two. I'm hoping we can beat them on Christmas, because no one wants their Christmas to be ruined by a Knicks loss. Yeah, they need to watch the film. They need to watch the film from the previous Bucks and Knicks games this season and see what they can do better. Jonathan said we're gonna make a clean sweep in both arenas or areas. Yeah, we are gonna make a clean sweep. He also said Ben Simmons always getting hurt. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, honestly. Like, I don't want to make fun of him, but it's just unfortunate that he's been out for so long, dealing with his back issues. And it was thought of that this season it was supposed to be his season. He was supposed to be back and better than ever, but that wasn't the case. The few games that he did come back, I'm not even sure how many games he was able to play before he went out. He looked good. He looked like he was playing good basketball. So it is unfortunate for the Nets and for him that he's out again. But, better for us that we can dominate the East, or at least try to. We could win these East games and put the Nets lower in the standings. I'm going to take a look at the standings right now. I think we're 5th. Eastern Conference standings. Number 1 is the Celtics. Number 2 is the Bucks. Number 3 is the Sixers. Number 4 is the Magic, and we're at number 5. Okay. So we're 1 loss out of 4th place. The Magic lost 10. And the Knicks lost 11. I'm just looking at the records here between everyone. we're looking good right now. I know a lot of people were panicking a little bit. Um, yeah, a lot of people were panicking after a certain loss recently, and I agree. I would say our defense sometimes doesn't look the best, but tonight it was a completely different story. I know it was the Nets we were versing, but our defense looked real. It looked impressive. Everyone was out there, you know, putting pressure, getting steals, getting rebounds. It looked really great tonight. And if we can just try to do that every night, especially against the good teams, we have a great chance to be the top, be in the top four in the Eastern Conference. We're right behind the Magic. I really think we could hit number 4. Um, it'll be hard to catch up to the Sixers. They have 4 more wins than us right now, but anything's possible. Reading some of Jonathan's comments here because they mentioned he was dealing with mental issues, and I know how depressing feels like. I hope Simmons get well. Yeah, if he is dealing with, I mean, I'm sure he is being out for that long. Um, it definitely has an impact on your mental health. So that's the unfortunate part. I just think, I especially feel for him and guys like Lonzo Ball, who, you guys know Lonzo Ball has been out for a very long time, and I'm not even sure when he's expected to play again. I think it's next year. Those are really just unfortunate, depressing injuries that they're both going through because they both have so much potential, and the injuries are really holding them back. Without further ado, though, I will begin to wrap up this post game. This was a great win. There's not much to talk about between. I already mentioned it. The Knicks defense was great. The offense, everyone stepped up for those who didn't play the best offensively. I really liked what I saw from like our role players. DiVincenzo, I know he's a starter now, but I really liked what I saw from him. He fits so well in that starting unit, and I hope he can replicate performances like this against good teams because we need it. When we play those good teams like Boston or the Celtics, we need a guy like DiVincenzo to step up and have this type of performance. 23 points, 3 steals, 8 rebounds. He did it on both ends of the court tonight. Yeah, so great game by the guys tonight. We run New York. Don't let any Net fan tell you otherwise. I don't even know if Nets fans exist anymore because I didn't hear any of them in the stadium tonight. I didn't see any of them. They were quiet if any of them were in the stadium. I think Barclays was mostly filled with Knicks fans. I have a lot of mutuals on social media that went to the game, and they're all Knicks fans. So we run Barclays, we run New York. Get out of here, Nets fans. Go back to New Jersey. Thank you for everyone for tuning into this post game. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And I have to mention that we do have merch as well. If you don't know that, we're not just a YouTube channel or social media channel. We have a website, and the amazing designers that we have in our Big Nick Energy team have designed great merch. Go check it out, bignickenergy.com. A lot of great stuff from there. We have merch for pretty much every player on the team between Quickley, RJ, Brunson, Randle. We even have merch for Taj Gibson. So if you're a Taj Gibson fan, go get the shirt. Go check it out at least. So, like I was saying, appreciate everyone for commenting. Hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you Saturday after we play the Bucks. I think it's an early game. I mentioned it was at 12:30, so it should end around, let's say, like 3 o'clock, 2:30. I'm not even sure, but somewhere around that time in the afternoon. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night.